Shaw, it's your boy Rhythm Phoenix, aka Sean Sharon. Um, Putting up this information, man, to talk to y'all about certain things, certain recent things that's going on in the occult and the metaphysics and the spiritual world. Um, that is my subject. That is a subject that I lead to the most. You know what I'm saying? That's what I talk about the most. And like theosophy and things like that, and how it all goes back to ancient Egypt, and how all that goes back to just the inner ancient African or ancient world. You know what I'm saying? Ancient Pangea. You know what I'm saying? Just ancient shit that has been passed down, and in this day and age, uh, kind of watered down, misunderstood, leading people in the wrong directions. People telling you this when it's that, telling you that when it's this. You know what I mean? Hence the song Black Sheep by Black Sheep back in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? You can get with this or you can get with that. What the hell is this? What the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? Because this is saying that that's wrong. That's saying no, you wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's a aspect of duality in this world that we live in. So when we're dealing with duality, we're dealing with what we actually dealing with is polarity. You see what I'm saying? We deal with duality in separation of, like, say for instance, cells or molecules, and then we deal with polarity in the essence of a vibratory understanding of levels of consciousness, levels of matter, levels of existence, levels of being and non-being. You see what I'm saying? And as a matter of fact, the when you think of the symbol that represents the word negative, which is like the symbol for subtraction, just a line. You know what I'm saying? And I got this copyright disclaimer up just in case I use some shit. That is the symbol that represents, motionlessness. You see what I'm saying? Motionlessness. And then the vibratory patterns begin. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's basic quantum physics. You know what I'm saying? And that is a very important thing to think about. Like Jay-Z say that one of his most important symbols to him and his family is water. You see what I mean? The symbol of water. They are very, very connected to the symbol water. And I mean, for me and my understanding, Jay-Z was in tune to that before he even was married to Beyonce. And then there's a recent video where he talks about, well, actually, I'm sorry, there's a supposed journalist talking about how their whole family is in connection with water. They just love the symbol for water, one of the first ancient symbols that ever existed, which is absolutely true. But when we're talking about Jay-Z, we're talking about a whole other level. So, and then he names his daughter Blue Ivy. You know what I'm saying? The symbolic color for water is blue. You see, so a lot of information that we're gonna be dealing with, but I'm gonna just try to break it down real quick. So the thing is this: there's a new show that came out. It's called Strange Angel. All right, it's called Strange Angel. Okay, in the show Strange Angel, it is based on true events. It's a show, so it's not completely fact. It's based on true events in the life and times of Jack Parsons, basically one of the founders of rocketry. You know what I mean? Maybe we can say rocket science. All right. It is well known that Jack Parsons was heavily into the occult. I'm not sure if I still got an image of that. He was heavily into the occult. All right, that's something that I'm gonna show you later on. But okay, he was heavy into the occult, and he was in tune to Aleister Crowley's information and things like that, right? So this is all getting ahead of myself. So him being in tune to all of this, right? To to the occult realm, to the hidden realm of things, to just the hidden science of reality. You know what I mean? He was spiritual. He was, you know, it was a complete spiritual thing. But Jack Parsons was, you know, in the times of, you know, post Aleister Crowley, still caught up in that ritualistic sexual magic thing that actually worked and helped him in his genius in rocketry. Now there's a scene in the movie, in the show, Jack Parsons, Strange Angel, comes on CBS, the All-Seeing Eye channel, okay, where he has a dream. It starts the show, the episode 2. He's having, and this is a spoiler alert, okay? He's having a dream, and the dream is, if you know anything about astral projection, astral world, astral travel, then you will understand that what's happening is that he's having a dream, but the dream is actually happening in his house. He's coming up out of the bed, meaning like an out-of-body experience, and he's going down the hallway, okay? He looks into a room, and the room turns into his bedroom when he was a child. Or it's actually the same room, but it's just looks like his room as a child because he is in there as a child. So he's looking at himself as a child, and the child, who is himself, is doing a ritual, right? He's doing a ritual, all right? Unbeknownst to him, maybe, I don't know. He's doing a ritual, okay? The ritual, let me see, is utilizing the image of the Sigil of Saturn, all right? The Sigil of Saturn. That's that, okay? This is the seal or sigil of Saturn, all right? With its 8 points, okay? Now, the Sigil of Saturn. And in the show, he's utilizing the child because he's doing a ritual. So this is all he knows. Is somebody tell him to do this? I don't know. Did he get taught this? I don't know. So he's doing a ritual, and he's doing a incantation for the ritual, right? Can I get there by candlelight? You know what I'm saying? While he's drawing the ritual with chalk on the floor. All right. Here is the song that he's using. To Babylon.
Can I not get there by candlelight? Yes, I'm back again. If your heels are nimble and light, you may get there by candlelight.
All right, very short nursery rhyme. How many miles to Babylon? Can you get there by night? Can you get there by candlelight? All right, so now, if anybody knows anything about Kabbalah, here's a symbol right here of Sigil of Saturn, the cube of Saturn, right? Showing the 8 points, all right? Now, and dealing with time and space. And that goes in hand with this image here, right? Time and space. So, this is my thing, okay? Now, this is an example of this is like a concoction of some artists who made this image up. This is on this website here, as you can see. It's dealing with the black cube of Kronos, right? The black cube of Saturn, okay? Saturn has 8 points, okay? Those 8 points are in reference to, now keep all this in mind when you know, keep the Strange Angel show in mind while I'm talking about this. The 8 points, which is right here, let's go back, okay? Let me see. Here's another one. The sigil right here. This is the sigil of Azazel. I'm not sure why they're not showing the A in the front. That might be silent. But this is the symbol of Azazel. Azazel is the angel of Saturn, basically. Okay, the deity, the spirit of Saturn, the intelligence of Saturn. This is the sigil of it. You can clearly see in the sigil the imagery of the Freemason symbol, right? The triangle, which is also in reference to the as above, so below, the pyramids, which represents as above, so below, because there's another aspect of the pyramid below the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. All right, hidden under the earth, which represents Amenta. Amenta represents your subconsciousness. But see, the thing is about the subconsciousness is that you, as soul, carry your own light. All right, in the subconscious realm. All right, you carry your own light. So the subconscious realm is like the world of Amenta. Amenta is the hidden land. Okay, you are the candlestick. All right, think about the hermit in the tarot deck. Let me see if I can get it. All right, so here is the symbol. This is the hermit. Okay, this is the tarot deck. This comes from the tarot deck card of Ascension of 2012. I've had this since 2012. I keep it in the case. I keep it, on lock. So this represents you. This is your inner light. This archetype entity right here represents your inner light. All right. And so the candlestick, when you going to Babylon, right? Because see, Babylon is the place where everything is mumbo jumbo. Everything is just mumbo jumbo, right? Everything is out of order. You know what I'm saying? Not chaos in the necessity of the beginning of pre-existence of the universe, but chaos as in order out of chaos, as in a purposeful, chaotic situation being brought about to bring about a new world order, a new beginning out of that chaos. The elite do it all the fucking time, and they utilize the mystical symbology of Kabbalah. See, I don't get views. I don't get nothing on my channels. That my views are getting taken away from me and all this stuff, all this shit, because I consider myself as an indigo child, crystal child, whatever you want to say. These children that were born in the 80s. I'm an 82 baby. And during these 80s, there was an amazing undercover projects like the Montauk, right? Project of the Philadelphia Experiment, right? I was born in Philadelphia, right? The Philadelphia Experiment. A lot of things was going on in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things dealing with the elite and conspiracy theorists and things like that. But dealing with facts. You know what I mean? The 80s was very rich in trying to foretell the future and future events and shit. All kind of movies dealing with the future. All kind of movies dealing with the underworld. And some of the greatest horror movies come from the 1980s, man. You know what I'm saying? The late 1970s and the 1980s. Can nobody argue with me on that? You know what I'm saying? With the exception of graphics, of course, right? Now this is the tarot deck. This is really the first tarot deck, believe it or not. It is the card of the Fool. All right, this is you, and then you become incarnated. See, the whole tarot deck deals with your incarnation in life, and your will on the wheel of samsara. Your will is either entrapped into the wheel of samsara, and you abide by the laws of time and space, or you utilize your will to escape time and space. There's a book called Yoga and Time Travel by Fred Allen Wolf. Check it out, because it deals with that. And on the front of the book, let me get it real quick. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry, I gotta keep pausing sometimes because you look for some shit you can't find it. This is the book, The Yoga of Time Travel. That's the name. How the Mind Can Defeat Time. All right, something that nobody see. The word man, M-A-N, you and me, one man. The word man comes from the word mind. Okay, the word man comes from the word mind. It's also in connection with the Hindu word manas. See, that's actually where it comes from. All right. The mind is in reference to the word nous, which represents the thinker, and hence the whole system of Gnosis, 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 Gnostic mystery system, and all that, right? And books like this, right? Books like this and just massive amounts of books like this has a lot of secrets in it that they don't want you to know about dealing with time. You know what I'm saying? You know, bending time. You know what I'm saying? And it seems to me that it is only in our states of dream, in our states of sleep, in our states of our waking states that of daydreaming. You know, when we leave, our states of imagination that we utilize. You know what I'm saying? That is the closest thing. Excuse me. It's the closest thing to bending time and space and to doing certain things like that, because it's not going to happen in the physical reality that is bound to the laws of the universe in a particular way. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing. So the book, the Mystical Kabbalah, I always come back to because it's full of the information, right? The book, the Mystical Kabbalah, is representative of the tree of life, the tree of the universe of life, the tree of the universe, the tree of life, okay? But the tree of life has a backside to it, right? It's called it's the backside of the tree of life. There are books that are written by occultists, okay? There are books that are written by occultists, i.e. Kenneth Grant, all right, who talk about this. He got a book called The Night Side of Eden, okay? The Night Side of Eden. I got the book, I read the book. And he talks about basically the entities that can be called upon on the backside of the tree of life, all right, that represents pre-existent entities. And the thing about it is that, well, okay, so this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the source of ideas, the source of perception, the doorway into this world, the doorway into the other world or worlds. We are dealing with a universe A, universe B situation. All right, that is talked about in the Kenneth Grant book. All right. Now, and then back to the 8 points of Saturn. Saturn has 8 points, right? Let's go to this here. I'm gonna go back to that. Saturn got 8 points, right? Now, and I keep showing this cube because you know, the cube of space. It's right. You can't see it too good, but it is on the tree. The cube of space is on the tree. Saturn is here. Saturn's sphere is here, known as the Sephir. All right, that's his sphere. Okay, now, but the sphere itself is a womb, hence the shell. The shell is none other than the yoni, and over here is the phallus. All right. This is where this represents like the macrocosmic solar plexus area. And this is where the trap begins of the soul. You know what I'm saying? It is almost like not only are we trapped here, there is a collection of soul energy that is trapped here in the sun that is sacrificing itself every day, giving off its life, its light. You know what I'm saying? And we live in it. We bathe in it, we live in it. Without it, we don't exist in this life and in this time. And the sun, the moon, and the stars and all that are utilized to manipulate us in the fact that we live in a box known as time. Okay? A box known as time. Right? There's the box. Here's the box behind this deity right here. And I'm utilizing this, I'll tell you here in a second, but this box is, and this a box, and this a box, the cube of space. All right? Hence time and space. Now, this is the cube of space. We have Jupiter, we have Mars. I have a candle right there, I almost burnt my arm. We have the sun, we have Venus, we have Mercury, right? We have the moon, and then we have the 4 elements, i.e. Earth, all right, known as Malkut. Okay. So, The first planet that is utilized on the Kabbalah tree of life is Saturn. There is no planet here. This sphere is representative of the phallus symbol, or the obelisk, right? The Tekanu of ancient Kemet, and is representative of the phallus, the Shingalingam, right? The Shiva. This is the Yoni of Shiva, all right? So hence up here represents the dualistic aspects, the first dualistic aspects of God, okay? Known as Keter, the Ancient of Days, all right? Concept of your higher dimensional self, your higher you, the higher self. Not necessarily the higher you as you on this earth, as the conditioned you living in the age of time and, you know, space, and you becoming who you are from your family and all this and your experiences, but the pre-existing you, right? The all self, the all you, the who might have had many incarnations in this world, or in 3D reality, in the Matrix. All right, to do a lot of things here, right? All right, so back to the aspect of polarity, because one of the most, and this article will tell you, right? Let me read. Say that the fact that Saturn has been worshipped for thousands of years. That's true, because why? Because Saturn is the ancient god Set of ancient Kemet. Okay, that is in the all throughout the volumes of the Gerald Massey works, mainly the Natural Genesis, or is it called Natural Beginnings? Ancient Egypt, Light of the World volume is massive amounts of information dealing on Set, Set Anubis, Set Anup, Anpu, Set, Sut, right? And it's the black god. Saturn is the black planet. All right. It's the farthest one out. It's the farthest one out there that we can see, and it's the slowest moving planet, taking about 29.2 years or so to go around the sun. There's the number 11 again, and also there's a fact that I wanted to show you that here in a second, because it's amazing. Here is the magical square of Saturn, the sigil, the magical square of Saturn. All right. Not the sigil. There's the sigil right here. Well, what was I going to get to here? Here's your number 8 right here. You see what I'm saying? In the corner. And then all these can break down to, I think, the number 15. Like 8 and 6 is 14, hence 15. 3 and 5, or 5 and 7 is 12, 13, 14, 15. 4 or 9 and 2 is 11, 4 is 15. Well, 15, all right, is 6. 6 is the molecule of carbon, 666. 6 is also 15 in dealing with the tarot card known as the devil, El Diablo, all right? This is what's been happening throughout time, El Diablo. There's a bat there. He got bat wings and shit right here. Got bat wings, reindeer or some type of antlers, hooves, all right, and you got little devils in the city and shit. It's very, very symbolic. You know what I'm saying? He has chains. He has the torch, representative of Lucifer, right? It's all connected, but because that's a bunch of shit. Now I'm just trying to reference you to Set and Saturn and Soot. Now, as this article reads, since ancient times, sages gazed at the stars, admiring their heavenly glow and attributing them godly powers based on their effects on humans. Hence astronomy or astrology. Before the Great Flood, Saturn, now before the Great Flood, okay, before the Great Flood, one of the symbols of the flood of the ark of Noah, his boat, right? One of the symbols is the pyramid. Why? Because the pyramid was the place where all that exists would be representative as seeds in the ark. So the ark carries all the seeds, right? The ark is right here on top of this deity's head. This deity is the polar opposite of your higher self. Okay? It is the part of you who becomes externalized, okay, in the physical world to manifest its reality as some type of fallen ego to create the kingdom on this earth in this exterior reality for it. And it don't even exist. Like, it only exists in time, and time is an illusion, right? And so it turns you into a fool. It turns you into a fool, right? You're born with the baby brain and all that shit. You ain't got no teeth to speak, nothing. Because teeth, with the application of teeth as they grow out the gum, all right, and there's a whole symbology of the triangle represented as the teeth growing about the gum, and the gums represent the horizon of the earth. You know what I'm saying? And we all dealing with that's like a symbology of the baby of wisdom. Okay. Now, and the fool goes about his journey living life, right? So the triangle at the top of this dude's head is the same triangle that's on the back of the dollar bill. And then you got "In God We Trust" right beside it. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It has many symbols. This thing has many symbols. As a matter of fact, I can't even get into that. You know what I mean? But the eye is there, right? I can't really see what's inside that ball. But he has a belt representative. He's the Lord of Time. He's the Lord of the Rings. What are the rings? The rings are these celestial belts. The celestial belt and the orbits that the planets take around the sun throughout the precessional cycle, how the sun travels through the zodiac signs and all that. All right. So how can I explain this? This deity is known as Satan. Okay, it's known as Satan. As simple as that. All right. The 8 is the symbol of the Ouroboros. All right. The 8 is also the symbol on the tree because the sphere of Saturn is the 8th sphere up, but the 3rd sphere down from Keter. 8 and 3 equals 11. All right. We can't get into 11 right now, but 11 is a powerful number that time and space is trying to hold captive. Okay. Because it is actually duality looking upon itself and realizing that it is actually one with the one, and that, you know, all is one. You see what I'm saying? All is one. It is that get behind me, Satan type thing. Well, no, Satan don't want to get behind you. Satan want to be in front of you, ruling you, right? So it's going to rule you through all the religions and all that. And see, the word Satan is all fucked up too, because the word Satan really don't mean the devil, and the word devil don't mean the devil. You see, Satan is actually Sut-an. That's in the ancient teachings, and you can find that in the works of Gerald Massey. Sut-an is black light or hidden light. All right. It is also representative of the light of the heavens of the night. The pole star. Okay, it's the pole star. Like today, Polaris. At one point of time, it will be Vega. At one point in time, and the most ancient time, it was in the constellation Draco, and I believe it was the star Thuban. I might be wrong on that though, right? We are in the 29th minute. That's the years of Saturn going around the sun. Synchronicity. Synchronicity is dealing with the Montauk project that happened during the Philadelphia experiment in the 80s. Hence the number 8, right? The number 8 of the 80s, and all the horror flicks, right? Now we got spirit coming in, I think. So, and then the number 8 is always, you know, it's eating itself. Then hence the Ouroboros, right? And the Ouroboros, we're dealing with time, right? And the encapsulation of time. And the Ouroboros, the snake mouth, even got triangle teeth. You see what I'm saying? You know, that goes back to the vampirism. You know, your energy being sucked. You know what I mean? Which is really your 7 chakra subtle body system, which is really who you really are, right? The 7 churches, okay? Philadelphia is the third eye. Ain't that some shit? That's where I was born. So I come from the third eye. Think about that. Instead of speaking of literal sense and logical shit, let's think of the world as illogical. All right. In the book of Revelations, the city of the church of Philadelphia is aligned with the third eye. All right. Let me give you an example. All right. I found the source. This is from the book, The Tarot and Kabbalah, The Path of Initiation in the Sacred Arcana, by Samuel Ward. I've had this book, man, almost maybe 10 years, I think. Maybe about 8 years. I've read all the way through it a few times. So you know, I got it. You know what I mean? So this is a image of it. I could probably find it on the internet real quick. Image of it in this book, The 7 Churches. The third church is called the Chakra Ajna. All right. The church is called Philadelphia. All right. The region is the Pituitary Gland. All right. The vowel is the letter I in the sound of E. Now, you may say, well, didn't you say the pineal gland was Philadelphia? Well, in esoteric science, the pineal and pituitary gland, in my opinion, and I believe in particular in certain facts from certain sources, can be interchanged, because the pituitary gland is the queen, the pineal gland is the king. The pineal gland cannot see, let me see. The pineal gland and the pituitary gland, one of them has to vibrate each other, the other one, for particular actions to happen. So I believe it is the pituitary gland that vibrates the pineal gland. The pituitary gland is also responsible for your imagination. The pineal gland is your inner eye. So your inner eye is visualizing the forms from the imagination, the image nation. The image nation is your own inner world, all right? Do not think of it as non-existent. And there's a book called The Awakened Imagination. I advise you to get it. It tells you that Christ is your imagination, but that's a whole nother subject. So, I forgot my train. So yeah, the pineal pituitary gland, you know, is the royal court. Period. You know what I mean? So it you know, you can say the pineal gland is the crown or whatever. It's up to you. It's how you symbolize it within yourself, right? So for me, I take it that the pituitary gland is representative of the third eye dealing with vision, but I also take it that the pineal gland, which is the church of Laodicea, the chakra Sahasrara, the region of pineal gland, the vowel is the same. The vowel is the same, according to this book, as the pituitary gland. You know what I'm saying? So we're dealing with interchangeable points here. You know what I'm saying? The king's chamber, the queen's chamber, Great Pyramid of Giza, which is your inner glory. That's your whole dome right here. You know what I'm saying? The king's dome. All right. So, the Philadelphia chakra is in the mid-brow, okay? And it has 2 petals. The 2 petals are reminiscent of the 2 wings of the angel, okay? Hence, the guardian angel, the archangel, and all this and all that. See what I'm saying? Now, all of that is all here. It's all in this. This is your ark. That is your Noah's Ark. All right, that is your Noah's Ark. So before when they talking about a flood in things, because you know you got people who still believe in literal things, and yes, there was floods that happened all around the world because the shit is documented in the myths, but the myths are also symbolic of other things. So just because a culture has a story of a flood that happened in their region on their people, that story could have been transmitted from a whole another culture that helped that culture start, and said that they were remnants of them. You know what I'm saying? Like Atlantis, right? And say that Tahuti came from Atlantis, and hence the remnants of wisdom represent Tahuti, right? And Tahuti goes into certain lands in Egypt and spreads the knowledge, and hence knowledge, Egypt becomes the second Atlantis, right? But as far as the evidence goes, shit, Atlantis, to me, represents what Egypt was before it was. So what is Egypt in the occult, in the Gnosis, in mythology? Well, Egypt is the upper and lower body, the higher and lower atmosphere, the upper self, the higher self, the lower self, the nature self. You see? And the soul represents the inner you, the heteru, the observer, the witness, the beingness of itself, of all this, making the choice. You know what I'm saying? It's all electromagnetism and things like that. So let me see. You see, so it is your inner light that gets you through the darkness. It is your inner light that gets you through the darkness. You know what I'm saying? The inner light is the hidden light. It is the hidden light that is for the perception while the soul is going through its dark night, its darkest night. Hence the symbol of the hermit, right? The symbol of the hermit. I'm very in tune to the tarot card number 9, Hermit, because I have 9 letters in my last name, right? I affiliate myself with the third eye, or the Church of Philadelphia, and this tarot deck has the guy. He has a third eye symbology on his forehead, right? I clearly understand this in reference to the 0 Fool card as he walks with his stick and his sack of light, right, into the cliff, right? He got one foot in a cloud, the other foot is going over the cliff. Is he going to fall in the cliff, or what? Is that cliff falling into the material reality that we live in right now? And then I go to the number 9. Well, it's clearly, you see the number 9. He has a lantern for his light, no backpack. There's the stick is still there though, but it's being used as a visual aid and a walking stick, a cane. And there you see the crevice in the crack in the ground there, right? And we know that 0 through 9 is actually the only aspect of what real numbers are, and in our reality, all numbers come from 0, right? And the number 1 is all of those numbers. You see what I mean? Just add this additionalized. Number 2 is 2 ones. Number 3 is 3 ones. You see what I'm saying? And all of those ones, number 9, 9 ones, all of those ones are the ones. And when you go back to the ancient text, there's a book I got called The Tree of Life, or the Kemetic Tree of Life. There's a group called the Pauti. All right. It's also in representation of the city of Knimu, of Tahuti, the city of 8. That's what it means. It means the city of 8. All right. And these 9 spirits, or 9 deities, or 9 entities are different levels of your inner individuality, your inner personality, right? Traversing through the realm of life as this human being, as this human being that you are. That's where they get the song, roll, roll, roll your boat gently down the stream. The stream is your spinal column, but on the macrocosmic level, you know what I'm saying, it's this path that goes from Keter through the Doth, which is the black hole, down into the sun. All right, that's why they utilize the sun to represent your sign, your zodiac sign. Hence, you are an Aries. I'm an Aries, right? Okay, which is traditional. All right. Then you have the moon, Yesud, and then you have Earth. There's a straight path right there. A straight path that leads, letting you know that you are still there. And this is ancient Moorish science that was taken by and concocted for hundreds of years. It took them hundreds of years to do it by these hidden church Jesuit priests. You know what I mean? These Jesuit priests that built up this shit. But it's actually ancient black and ancient Moorish science, right? And it goes all the way back to ancient Atlantis, right? Now, back to the ancient Atlantis. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe that ancient Atlantis is actually representative of the ancient personification of the subtle body, all right? And its upper and lower hemispheres. The seven sinners represented today as the seven continents of our earth, all right? The seven islands of the ancient Aztlan, right? Of Kemet. And there's a story of the Mayans and the Aztecs, you know, right? All right? You know what I'm saying? Coming from the seven islands, or these ancestors, the Anasazi. It's always starting with the letter A, these Aztlan people, all right? So, we either talking about a real place, it doesn't really matter. It could have been a real place. I don't believe it would have been called Atlantis. You see what I'm saying? I think that's derived from the ancient Egyptian story. Egyptian priest, right? Told to the Greeks. See, it's dealing with your chakra system. And before we fell into this era that we live in now, modern times, we were on the water. See, we in the flood. There was a great flood. This is the flood of your higher consciousness. Your higher consciousness was flooded. And it fell to a lower vibratory rate. And your bodies became solidified from the mental bodies. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. You can go to Helen Blavatsky's works. The mental bodies and the etheric bodies. And you fell down. Maybe that's in reference to the symbol of Yesut. You see what I'm saying? Yesut, because Yesut is the moon is utilized in astral symbology a lot and ethereal symbology. Right? Tahuti, Khonsu, ancient gods of Egypt, are personifications of the moon. So the soul, the man, the human being, the entity known as man today was flooded. It was flooded by, and this is in relation to the seven sins, the seven seals, all right, the seven planets. They all represent like Osiris, the whole story of Osiris and Set. This is after Sut fell, right? And it's like saying, okay, Sut got jealous, so he encased the soul or Osiris into a coffin, right? Slayed him, killed him, knocked off his manhood, his manhood, right? So he wouldn't he wouldn't pass his genetics, pass his genes on, Genesis. But that would, but of course we got Genesis. It didn't stop. You see what I'm saying? Letting you know that we still here. You see, but that was after Set fell or Sut fell. Sut was the star of all stars. You see, and that represented the being of your beingness on the planet. You know what I mean? So it's like when it fell, another star took its place, and all the people were taught throughout the decades and centuries and thousands of years and millenniums to worship that. And this system became more and more watered down and watered down and watered down. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. Now, we live in a world where shit like this goes on, right? I just showed you the Sigil of Saturn, right? You know the Sigil of Saturn, the symbol of the Freemasons and all that, right? And the G in the middle of the symbol of Freemasons, okay? Letting you know who their God is, right? But there's a whole lot of information dealing with that, because that God is actually a personification of something within you. This guy, this rugrat, I used to love the rugrats. This ginger rugrat with his purple glasses, okay? Purple is in reference to the crown chakra, okay? And he's seeing through his eyes. So maybe he got a third eye that's open, because what's going on? He got his hands on the bars. These are the bars of time, because it's the Sigil of Saturn. Saturn is the deity of time and space. So this, and he has the shirt. His sweater has the symbol of Saturn on it. Okay? it gets no. Listen, I mean, come on. We might have bones on his green pants here, and the green represents the earth. The blue represents the sky, right? Come on, man. It's all there. This whole image is representative of that, and it's representative of us being trapped in time. This is a rug rat. A rug rat might be an insult to your soul. Hence, Aladdin's carpet, because Aladdin's carpet is actually a symbolic aspect of your soul traveling through the dimensional realms of either time and space or your inner reality. You know what I'm saying? So what needs to happen is we need to understand that the whole thing with Satan and Lucifer and shit, that's all these are words that have been taken and utilized to manipulate your mind. Lucifer means bringer of light. All right? Now, people twist that shit and say, well, it's the bringer of this light. Bringer of, well, who said that? Where'd that come from? What's your source in that? Right? What's your source in that, man? Okay? Don't say the Bible, please don't. Because Jesus is the morning star, is he not? Lucifer is the morning star, is he not? All right? This is all in connection with the golden dawn. There's an esoteric golden dawn. There's a society known as the Golden Dawn who utilizes the esoteric material. There's a Golden Dawn who utilizes the esoteric material for manipulation and for gain, for power, for your power in this world, believe it or not. And they utilize this shit. They utilize these sigils and they work on motherfuckers because these are seals that apply to the astrological aspect of your psyche. The zodiac signs are connected with your psyche, your psychology of your soul, and they know how to tap into all that shit. That's why this Kabbalah is filled with, you know, zodiac signs and planets and all that shit. The 7 planets, the 7 seals. Okay. So imagine you being above the water as this starlight just bathing the waters, and under those waters all life being birthed and shit in the waters, right? And then all of a sudden something happens, the earth's viewpoint shifts in space and time, and you no longer up right here, you over here, you disoriented, because we are the earth and we have become disoriented. So people like the ancient Sufis came with the science to reorient ourselves to our true inner Lord, inner God, which is they got a phrase: he who knows himself knows his Lord. So it is know thyself, as simple as that, right? And you know, we are gods and children of the Most High. You have to know thyself in this reality, in this time and space. Utilize that, and please believe it. The archons will come against you. They will raid you. You know what I'm saying? They will fuck with your money. You know what I'm saying? All that shit, because what people do in the elite, they do rituals for money. They do money rituals. They do control rituals. You know what I mean? Is he lying to me rituals? Does he, you know, I want that motherfucker to love me rituals to control people, because that's you know what I'm saying? It's a part of what we are. It's the earth is in this fucking zodiac belt. The zodiac is the zoo, and we are in the zoo, and we got a bunch of zoomorphic entities known as humans or souls in human bodies with the ability to have ideas, because they have the human intellect, right, to an extent, and they control the world with their ideas, and hence it comes into matter, and we live in this fucked up reality because, you know, veterans come home missing limbs and fighting for health care. You know, we paying LeBron James millions of dollars to do what? You look up to him for what? Because he can dunk, or because he's a millionaire? You see what I'm saying? It's about money. You see, it's all about money, and money rules. Time is money, right? They say this time is money. You see, I'm gonna get off here in a second, man. It's just way too. I can just go on and on with this information. You see what I'm saying? It's just way too much information. You know, to be on this shit all day. You see, we have to understand that we have been manipulated, right, by this deity who claimed he covered up anyway. You know what I'm saying? He claimed to have. Look at the basketball, right? The basketball goes into the hoop. You know what I'm saying? Spinning the ball on his fucking finger. He has an apron on, all this type of shit. What is this? Scrolls. I mean, yo, it's the polar opposite of yourself. This type of entity wants you to be stuck in time, right? But the other deity, the one that there is no image of, you know what I mean? Because it is what you portray it as. It's an individual experience. It's impersonal. That is the true one, because that's the one that allows you lessons and gives you lessons to escape the zodiac belt and to escape time. You see? Time. So on that note, I'm going to bounce out. If anybody wants to know, I found out that the word Bina of the Kabbalah tree, the third sphere down, eighth sphere up, is actually pronounced Bina, right? Now remember what I said about okay? The pituitary gland and the pineal gland both carry the vowel that you can utilize during meditations or whatever to help vibrate the endocrine glands, actually, which is what the endocrine glands is what they control you. See, and the endocrine glands, because you know pituitary gland has a lot to do with your growth. Pineal gland has a lot to do with how you measure time and where you are, how you orient yourself. You see what I'm saying? So the endocrine glands, there's a whole book called, and I'm gonna show you real quick. Right? This is written by the same guy who wrote Tarot and Kabbalah, Samuel Water. Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing the name. He's showing you the dome because the dome is, the dome is the pyramid. All right, our dome is symbolizes the pyramid on this planet. All right, and the reason that the deity got the pyramid on his head is because that is a collection of all of our soul experiences on this earth. That when we leave this planet, if we fall suspect to the will of the zodiac and time and space again, we come back into the matrix and we live this shit again. And instead of having the choice to come back and do it again, because you can have a choice, right? Or you cannot have a choice. And right now they seem to be locking down the grid to keep us from having a choice, to the point to where they manipulate your mind. You know what I mean? They don't have to control you. They don't have to do things outside of you. They do things outside of you to manipulate your insides and make you think shit, and then you believe in that shit. So this book, Endocrinology and Criminology, they control your endocrine glands through food, air, you know what I'm saying, all kind of shit, the media, and you walk around all frustrated, or you can walk around all happy, all that, whatever. That's the thing about meditation, because meditation can do the same thing. It cleanses your chakras. Your chakras are aligned to your endocrine glands, so it cleans out your system, right? And you have a better you have a better view on life, right? Well, another symbol, 9 is also symbolic of the word life, all right, and the word leaf is as well, as in the tree. So this book is full of it, you know what I mean? This book is full of information letting you know how they control you on a particular level, right? It goes on and on and on. It talks about clairvoyance and all that. Here's another image of the chakra system, right? The highest one, I'll be saying, looks like a beetle because it reminds me of Kepler, right? And Kepler rose the ball of dung, which out of nothing comes everything, right? Kepler, the black beetle, ancient black Kemetic symbol for life, or the creator and creation, right? The black and the dung. Today we call dung shit. The word shit come from the word shet. The word shet come from the word shet, set, seth, set, soot, soot, soot. You know what I mean? The black soot of the fire, right? Soot. Carbon, melanin, right? Melanin bathes your whole body. It just so happens that on the outside, what we call black people, Moors, look like me and you, Nubians, we have melanin on us, on our skins, that protects our epidermis and things like that from the UV rays of the sun. You know, what's really real, all right? What's really real? Let's look into endocrinology, right? They mess with you on vibratory levels, you know what I'm saying? And what you do, you resurrect the true God within you. You see? Get this book, The Man of Light in Iranian Sufism. It talks about how the inner God within you helps orient yourself to get you to understand, you know what I mean? He who knows himself knows his Lord. Right? It means that God is contemplating himself in him and contemplating the evidence of himself. That's all talking about you within yourself. We're dealing with hermeneutics, right? The Hermetic Code of DNA. There's a book, The Hermetic Code of DNA. I forgot the name of the author, but you can Google it. Right? See, Sat fell. Right? Sat is the only substance that exists. Sat is the substance. You know, man, we gotta wake up, y'all. We gotta wake up. Watch Strange Angel. Strange Angel. All right? Rhythm Phoenix. Ashe.